Hey friend, look, do I have any friends that watch polls? Can I make some friends that watch polls? Cause look, I need to talk about this. This was one of the best TV moments of my life. Like, this was one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. From the acting to the writing to just the entertainment aspect. And I want to discuss it with somebody. So I know that we usually talk about music and our performances and our artists, from all over the world. But today, and I have another reaction video in like forever. I'm sorry, but we're coming back. But right now, we need to talk about this. Okay, so if you haven't seen polls, or if you're watching the season and you haven't watched this episode, don't watch this video just yet. Come back to it because we discussing it. I can't promise you I'm not gonna spoil. I'm going to spoil things if you haven't seen it. Yeah, come back to me. And if you haven't seen it and you're just watching because you want to hang out with your friend, thank you. Let me explain to you what Pose is. Pose is a TV show on FX, and it centers around the LGBT community in New York City, early 90s right now, late 80s in the first season, early 90s now, and it's really focused on the ballroom scene, which was kind of like happening in the clubs. It was where the LGBT community could really express themselves and really showcase their talent and skills, their skill sets, all the time, everything really. So that's what the show is about. I want to do a whole review of the episode. I watched it twice because I thought it was amazing. I made notes. I have 6 pages of notes. That's not what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Pray Tell and Ricky. Okay? Pray Tell is played by Billy Porter. And let's just get into it. He slept with Ricky. We're not gonna miss words. Him and Ricky, they bang, they boom boom, they got it on, they got it in, whatever you want to call it. It happened, and I knew it was coming, but I was hoping that it was not gonna happen. I was hoping that it wasn't gonna happen because Ricky been flirting with Pray Tell. I was like, come on, Pray Tell, be stronger than this. Be stronger than this, because essentially, Ricky is his nephew. Essentially. But it happened. So maybe we can go into how it happened. So the show opens up with Ricky and Pray Tell, of course, and Pray Tell is teaching Ricky what to do because they now both have HIV, not from them having sex. Pray Tell's had it for a while. Don't know how long, and Ricky has just been diagnosed because he went on tour with, I forgot who he went on tour with, MC Hammer or somebody, I don't know, and he was doing the most. And I don't want to say he was doing the most. He was though, but he was just being young and careless. Okay, he's just a person, and he was being young and careless, and he got exposed to it, and tested positive for HIV. And Pray Tell is just teaching him what to do now, how he can. How he's going to live his life and how he has to take care of himself, what medicines to take, what herbal remedies to take, what he needs to do, how he has to really just be serious and focus. And you really kind of you start to get if you focus, you get little glimpses of things. Because there's something going on outside of the sexual energy. There's something going on with Ricky that hasn't yet come to surface. So, and he's a really confusing character. Oh, poor Damon. He's so confusing. So, obviously, Ricky is in the moment of being of being sick, of having HIV. He's crying. And what he's worried about is no one's going to date me ever again. What he says, who's going to love me? No one's ever going to date me again. Who's going to love me? Pray Tell says to him, you got to focus on your health. And you got to tell Damon. You got to tell Damon. Damon is Ricky's ex-boyfriend. Just, if you're not up to speed, Ricky has been toying with Damon, proclaiming his love to Damon, proclaiming that Damon is the one, proclaiming that Damon made him better, saying all the right things, yet still flirting with Pray Tell. Like 2 seconds later. Poor Damon. Anyway, so Ricky's in his moment. He's crying. Next scene, Ricky is fine. He is good. None of that weight's on him anymore. Him and Pray Tell watching TV, they eating Chinese food, and he's flirting with Pray Tell. And Pray Tell's looking at him like, I'm gonna need you to stop and pump your brakes, you know, because I'm your elder. At that moment, Pray Tell had his stance. He was thinking kind of like, is he flirting with me? But he was also thinking, I'm your elder. Okay? Don't do that. Time comes, it's getting late. Ricky, you know, it's getting late. Ricky gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go. Ricky says, you mind if I stay here? Pray Tell's like, why do you need to stay here? That would have been my first thought too. Why do you need to stay here, Ricky? Like, you don't need to be over here. You got a house. You got a whole home. You got a whole mother. Stay at her house. But he's like, you know, this time of night that Electra, which is Ricky's mom, house mother, brings her men over. And it gets a little weird. Do you mind if I stay here, Pray Tell? I don't know about you. I don't buy that. I don't believe that. Let me tell you why. Electra is not the type of broad to bring her dudes over to the crib. She's not. She's so bougie. She's not like that. She's a lady, okay? She's gonna have that man pay for a hotel in probably a very fine 5-star hotel, or this dude has some kind of second home if he's married, and probably is married, or he has probably a second penthouse somewhere, and that's where they're going to do their business, because she doesn't really seem to be the type that would do it amongst her children. She needs her privacy. I just don't buy that. I think that he was lying, and I think that he set a trap for Pray Tell. Am I the only one that caught that? Am I the only one thinking along those lines? Am I thinking too hard? But I think he totally set a trap for Pray Tell. And needless to say, he set a trap because Pray Tell gave him, he said, okay, you can stay here, but here's the couch, here's the pillow, here's a blanket, and it's not comfortable. Close the door. Pray Tell's in bed. Next scene is very dark. Pray Tell sleeping, and here comes Ricky sliding right in the bed right next to him. Pray Tell is like, what the hell going on? He says, Ricky, what you doing? Ricky says, you was right, Pray Tell. That bed is, that couch really is not comfortable at all. Pray Tell said, hold on. Ricky, what you doing? And Ricky grabbed Pray Tell's hand and put Pray Tell's hand in his pants, and the baby face started playing, and it was Murder, She Wrote. They boom boom. They boom boom. Now it's just like, Pray Tell, don't do it, Pray Tell. Don't do it, don't do it. Stop. Don't do no more. Stop. Don't do no more. But they just kept going, shit. They kept going. Oh, it broke my heart. And it disturbed my soul. It really did. We want to give, I guess, a spotlight to the fact that, and also it was very graphic. It wasn't just some, montage of kissing to music. It lasted a long time. They showed a lot. It wasn't you know, R-rated, but it was more than's been shown on TV for a same-sex couple. Definitely men, and definitely black men. So I guess that's a milestone. But man, I wasn't with it just because I didn't want them together. I didn't want it with them. So I wasn't, you know, it was a milestone, but I wasn't happy, because I wasn't happy. But it was scandalous. It was scandalous. Anyway, like I said, it wasn't just a montage. And there's something else really important in that scene. And that's Ricky. Obviously, okay, so obviously Ricky's the young one. He's the more masculine one. So he's going to play the top. He's going to be the one giving in the situation. And he did. But then he turns and he says, Pray Tell, I want to give myself to you. Woo. Let's unpack. He said, meaning that he wanted to. You get what I'm saying? Okay, sorry. This is not type of conversations that I have. So I'm stuttering. It's like I'm talking about the birds and beasts with my children. This is not some conversation I had. But basically, Rick was like, Pray Tell, you do me now. Okay, and it was. Look, entertainment-wise, it's like, whoa. But also, like, writing-wise, it's kind of like, man, what jewel is that? Because that's not just there for no reason. And basically, for him to say that line, if I want to give myself to you, kind of alludes to the fact that Ricky had never been in that position before, and essentially like Prytell was breaking his virginity. Maybe, I don't know, but that's what it kind of alludes to. And why? Why Prytell? Why in this moment? What's going on? And if we're thinking that, it makes you really think that in connection with the lines of Ricky saying that no one is ever going to love me again, who's going to love me, no one's ever going to date me, it lets me think that Ricky is very, very vulnerable, very, very desperate, and he's always been one to make really, really bad choices, right? This is nothing different. This is nothing different, nothing different. And he doesn't have a really good reason as to why he likes Prytell, as to him just saying that he he just has something for him. You know what I mean? But he doesn't really have a good reason why. So I think all of those are just little nuggets, little seeds that are being planted. And what is it going to bloom into? I don't know. But it's something not to look past by, you know? And I'm not talking about anybody but Ricky and Prytell. There's a lot of things going on, but we'll just talk briefly about Angel and Poppy. They're a couple now. First off, the actress that plays Angel. If I didn't know, if from this show, obviously, I know that she's a transgendered woman. I would never know this because she is just a beautiful woman. I'm also just really, they're the couple that I'm into, that I like, that I'm rooting for. They're such a nice couple. And the one thing that was really important about their scene is that Poppy takes Angel into an apartment, and he tells her, first the apartment was in New York City, and it was $450 a month. It was fully furnished. It looked real good. It looked all, like, it was a nice apartment. I was like, is it still up for listing? Because I'll take it. Is it still up for listing? Anyway, he tells her, you can get this if you want it for yourself. I thought that was just such a good lesson, a life lesson for Angel, but for everyone in general. Because sometimes in life, you need somebody to show you something. You need somebody to just help you to the next part of your life. And that's kind of almost what's going on with Prytell and Ricky, perhaps. It kind of parallels that, just a whole different situation. But maybe not, because they're also romantically and sexually involved as well. I thought that was just so important, because sometimes you need someone to help you move to the next phase in life. Anyway, and Poppy is a really good boyfriend to Angel, but even more importantly, he's a really good friend to her. You know, and we could all be so lucky. Next scene. Next scene, child. Prytell's walking down the streets. He is skipping. He has his cane. He's doing a whole little number with his cane. He is dancing to music that's not even playing. It is the I Just Got Some Last Night joy. And I could not. I just couldn't. I could not deal with it. But what I will say is that the V-neck that he was wearing and the chain that he had on, I want. That was a nice V-neck, and that was a nice little chain that he had on, our necklace. It was just nice, very fashion forward. And I'm like, what does Prytell do for a living? I know he does a little seam work or whatever, but he looked very fancy, very fancy. All right, so Prytell was going to a meeting that happens, I guess, twice a month with 3 other guys, so 4 men in total, and that is the meeting about the balls. And there's some interesting things that we learn in this meeting with the men. But before we get to that, because I think it can get really passed up. That scene had dynamic acting. I watched it twice, and the second time I watched it, I really saw it. And what it is that those 4 men were friends. Their friendship had a history. It had depth. It had inside jokes. It just had so much going on to it, and I was just amazed about what they created, the chemistry they had between each other. It was amazing, and kudos to them for that scene and that connection that they had. Amazing. So we learned from their conversation is that first, so all the trophies at the balls are paid for by 4 men. I thought that blew my mind. I wonder how true to life that is, or was at that time. And that was just crazy, because there's a lot of trophies and they're really big. I don't know how much trophies cost, but it was paid for by 4 men. I thought that was crazy. And then also, obviously he's with his friends. He cannot hide what's going on. He spills the beans that he's in a relationship. He's picked up a lover, and the lover is Ricky, right? He says, I'm not in love, I'm in lust. That's Pray Tell that says this, and I'm just happy. And it made me think this. It made me think, is your happiness worth bringing immense pain to others, especially others that you care for or are supposed to care for? Is you being happy worth bringing immense pain to them and totally maybe messing up something? Is it worth that? I just thought about that. I thought about that. I just thought I don't, but that's the question that came into my mind. I don't know. I know it's not as black and white as that. There's a lot of gray to it, but it's just that's the question that came up to my mind. The actor that was sitting opposite of Pray Tell on the corner by the window, he was killing that scene. He was a driving force in that scene. He said something as well. He said young black brown men have a complex when it comes to older men as a result of their broken families and relationships with their own fathers. Daddies hated them, beat them, kicked them out so they could turn to older men for love and approval they were denied. So it's just a little bit more seeds being planted that I think are going to grow, because that's obviously what's going on with Ricky and Pray Tell. Pray Tell is obviously saying that it's not love, it's not lust, and it's they were defining it for us right then and there. I thought that was really, really interesting that he said that. They also had a very interesting line that said, "Own your choices," because obviously Pray Tell made a decision to fall into temptation, though he was trapped into it. I feel he was trapped into it. He made a choice to fall into, to go along with it. And I thought that was such an interesting line to say, own your choices. I don't know. I thought it was just a good line. And I guess it made me think about where is the line? Where is the line of where their conversation, where's the line and what is crossing the line as far as Pray Tell and his status in the community, and especially his relationship with the House of Evangelista. And though Ricky wasn't in the House of Evangelista, he was very much a part of it. Blanca was more of his mother than Electra is, and Pray Tell, though he doesn't have any children, he's not a house father. He is at the Sunday dinners or whatever for Evangelista. So he is a surrogate father to Damon, and he is an uncle, as far as I'm concerned, to our stepfather or whatever, to Ricky. So what's the line there? I was wondering that, and then that came back up. And then in the very next scene, Ricky, his old disgusting self, is playing around. He at the House of Evangelista playing around with Damon. I know they're friends, I know they get along, but it's kind of like, if you don't want me, don't talk to me. And he's just so wrong for being in Damon's face like that. Having fun like that, all vibey, wanting that connection, but disrespecting the connection in private when Damon's not there. I really don't like that type of behavior. And I felt like it was leading Damon on. And that might not have been Ricky's intention, but he needs to just do better. I don't like him. So he playing around with Damon, and Damon is kind of like, you've been trying to get back with me, and it's just, we're having so much, the vibe is so good between us, we're having so much fun, we're such good friends, let's give it another go. Let's give it another go. And the one thing I can say for Ricky is that he is low, but he's not low. So he didn't take advantage of Damon. He said, look, hold on, pump your brakes, I got HIV. And there comes all the things Damon has to unpack. So first, Damon has to unpack that first his lover, or the person that he's in love with, is HIV positive. And then you got to unpack, how did you get HIV? How did you get it? Because we got tested, and you cheated on me. So he's unpacking the fact that his person that he's in love with and was in a relationship with cheated on him while they were together and lied about it. Unpacking that. Secondly, he has to unpack that the person that he's in love with did not come to him first. did not come to him in his time of need, who did you go to? You went to Pray Tell. Why did you go to Pray Tell? Unpacking the fact that him and Pray Tell are in a sexual relationship. Whew. Whew. He's in a sexual relationship with someone that he looks up to. That's someone that we both look up to. Someone that's like a father. You know nothing about Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark is like a father. Someone that's don't even have fathers. That's who Pray Tell is to them, and that's who you sleeping with. That's who you. Lastly, Damon has to unpack the fact that he may also be HIV positive. Ricky put a lot on Damon, okay? He put a lot on Damon. And though he was crying, and he seemed sad, I can't with Ricky, cause I don't think anyone really understood all the things that Damon had to unpack right there in that moment. He didn't have nobody, and once he had Ricky leave, Ricky wasn't even really trying to stay. I feel like when he was telling Ricky to get out, he was already halfway gone. That's what I feel. He wasn't trying to rush to Damon. That cry that Damon let out, that yell, was just so gut-wrenching. So gut-wrenching. It was just filled with so much. It was filled with pain. It was filled with concern. It was filled with worry. It was filled with heartbreak. It was just filled with so much, so much, so much. And I was just there with him for that. I was there. And Damon was never really a character. Maybe not, but he was a character I related to a lot. But in this episode, I related to him a lot, and I'm gonna get into why I related to him a lot. So then we're gonna cut to Damon's graduation performance. So Damon is a dancer. I think he's at Juilliard or something, but he's at a really prestigious school. Blanc had got him in. She went to the office like, you put my son into the school, and that's what happened. And he had a whole little graduation performance where he did a little dance. And the whole time that he was dancing, I swear to God that he was going to either like fall, break his leg, trip, forget a routine, forget a step or something. But it went fine. And Pray Tell had the nerve to be at. Pray Tell had the nerve to be at the performance. I said, why is Pray Tell that? He had the nerve. I thought that was just so tacky and disrespectful. Pray Tell had no reason being there. You did not have enough concern for Damon when you sleeping with his man. Okay? And there's something that Pray Tell said, jump back to when he was having a conversation with his three friends. He said, well, I didn't break up no relationship because Damon and Ricky had already been broken up, so I was sleeping with his man. That is talk for strangers. But if we are family, you're not dealing with somebody that I dealt with. If we family, if you having Sunday dinners with me and mine, you're not dealing with somebody that I dealt with, Pray Tell. You know better than that. You are more mature than that. You are an elder. I didn't deal with that talk. He had no care for Damon. So if you have no care for Damon, why are you at my graduation performance? Why? Don't come there for Blanca, because this is not Blanca's day. This is my day, Pray Tell. I'm sorry, but I have to go off on that because why he brought his funky self over to Damon's graduation dinner? Go to Ricky's graduation dinner. Oh, Rick and I graduate now. Anyway, that had made him mad. So what had happened? Okay, so and I called this. So but really, why was Pray Tell there? Really, why was he there? Why, seriously. And then afterwards, it was very interesting, right? They're taking a group picture, and Pray Tell is the one taking the picture. And I think maybe for a lot of people, that doesn't mean anything. But for me, I was like, why is Pray Tell taking the picture? That's shady. What does that mean? Like, and because I felt like old girl could have been taking the picture. Candy Friend, I don't remember her name, but Candy Friend could have been one taking the picture because she's not in the house Evangelista, you know what I mean? And at least they had a ton of people around them. They could have asked somebody to take the picture. But no, Pray Tell took the picture. So I wondered if, like, Pray Tell's guilt was like, when they wanted to take a picture, his guilt was like, oh, I'll take it. Because he didn't want to be in the picture, or he felt guilty and was like, I should take this for Damon. I don't know. Or I wonder if, what I wrote down, if his guilt made him feel like he shouldn't be in the picture. But I felt like him not being in the picture meant something, and I feel like it means something along those lines. What do you guys think? Are you with me on that? Like, it wasn't, it was something. And there was this nice scene between Damon's teacher and Blanca, Damon's mom, our house mother. And first off, the teacher really reminds me a lot of Aunt Viv from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the first one, Janet Hubert, right? And she just has this kind of, she has this energy about her that it seems like she just has a lot more depth and a lot more ability as an actress. I love her on the show. I'm so curious to see what else she can bring and what else she can do. I'm not sure if this will be the vehicle for her. I think maybe her time on the show might be over with since Damon is not going to be in school anymore. But she just seems so powerful, and I want to explore that as a viewer. I want to see her acting, what she can do as an actress. Cause I just see that she can do so much. It just seems so evident. Anyway, it was a scene. But there's something really interesting about a scene where, as a teacher, she was just saying, like, you know, I loved working with Damon. It was I forget the exact words said, but it was a delight to work with Damon. But it was an honor to meet you, Blanca. Super sweet. But in regards to Damon, and obviously I'm taking this out of context a little bit. It's not that black and white, it's gray. And obviously she loves Damon, thinks the world of Damon, thinks Damon can do everything. But it seems to me that there's a trend going on in this episode, and as far as Damon goes, that all the people in his life he ranks under somebody too. You know what I mean? He doesn't exactly, he's not there first. He's not seen in the esteem in which he should be seen by his professor, by his mother, by his surrogate father, by his lover. Everyone kind of sees him underneath someone else. And they're just not loving him the way he should be loved. You know, especially on his damn day. She should have been talking to Damon. She should have said it. She should have said everything she said to Blanca. Obviously. But why Damon wasn't there either? Like, what about Damon? Why is everybody playing Damon to the left? I just don't understand. He was the one that danced. I don't know. And I get it. Blanca made it happen. But I'm just saying, well, what about Damon? Because everybody seems like they just kind of dim his light a little bit. You know what I mean? To brighten up somebody else's. I was like, and that's where I relate to Damon. Okay, I always feel like I've been in that situation. I always feel like I'm in that situation. Anyway, I'm going to talk deeper into that, okay? And then the dinner. So they all, after the graduation performance, they go and have a graduation dinner at the House of Evangelista. And that's where, obviously, who was there? It's Damon, it's the House of Evangelista, so it's Blanca, it's Damon, it's Poppy, it's Angel. I guess Grandma lecturer is there, and one of her children. I guess the only one of them's there. The one that's good friends with Damon, I assume. I don't know. They sing together or something like that. I guess they're good friends. That's Candace's old friend. And of course, Pray Tell is there. Why Pray Tell is there? Because you are part of the House of Evangelista, right? Though you don't want to, when it's convenient. Pray Tell, when it's convenient. Because if you don't feel like that, don't be at our functions. That's all I'm saying. So he's there. I'm like, Damon is handling this very well, because I know I would have already felt, I would have been given side eyes already. I would have been, you know, rude and ugly most likely. But Damon was fine. He was smiling. But there was traces starting to show. There was little traces starting to show. There was. And Angel was the one to start lighting the match, okay? And it could have been because she was just being a little playful sister. It also could have been because she was high and she was very loose with her words, and she was picking the wrong time to be loose with her words because Damon wasn't having it. And she's the one that set Damon off, and it was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then it wasn't the day. It was not the day, and Damon let it all loose. He let it loose that she was doing cocaine. And Candy friend backed her up on it. And Blanca was like, you know what? I don't believe it. Not my baby, not my daughter, not my only child, not my only daughter, not my baby. I don't believe it. And again, is this Damon being in that position where he's just not enough? What his truth is not like. No one's really there for him the way they should. No one's loving him the way they should. Like, you're my mother, you know. Like, is just he's a second fiddle, you know. And there's no reason why he should be second fiddle, but that's how it is in his family and his life. He's just not believed. He's not loved correctly. He's not honored correctly, you know. And it's just pissing him off. And he's battling those feelings. He is battling those feelings. So he gets mad at Blanca because he's like, first off, whenever it was with Poppy, you kicked him out. So why not gonna do the same thing for Angel when Poppy was selling weed and stuff because he had to, and Angel is taking drugs for fun, and it's the hard stuff. It's cocaine, mama. What more proof you need? He is mad as hell. And I also think he was as mad as hell because first there's a lot going on, but he's had to deal with it all by himself. His mom wasn't there, his brother wasn't there, his sister wasn't there, and his damn uncle, surrogate father, is part of the problem. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, also, keep in mind, humor going on. Alexa was being messy as hell. She was like, we not leaving, Shay. We staying right here. This is getting good. Let me go get my popcorn. She actually went to get something to drink. It was so funny. And like, again, Blanca wasn't believing it, and Damon was in. He was letting her have it. Pray Tell chimes himself in, and Damon shut his ass down. Down, you hear me? Down. It was like it was so quick, and it was so accurate. Like Pray Tell sat himself back down. Like he got him together. Pray Tell didn't know what hit him. Damon brings up the nail salon about Blanca, just saying that, you know, you're my mother. He says it's an interesting line. He says, you know, you're my mother, that's what you're supposed to do. I thought that was an interesting line as well. You know, I thought that was an interesting line as well because he's saying that I thought it was an interesting line. I'm not going to go deeper into it because right now I'm trying to just focus on the drama. I'm sorry. But I thought that was a really, really great line. He also brings up the fact that she's been spending a lot of time at the nail salon, and a lot of things around her she hasn't been paying the same attention to. And all the things are slipping around her, especially in regards to him. You know, no one's really been there for him and what he's been going through. And they've been there for the big moments, but they haven't been there for the moments that actually hurt. And he's been having to keep them to himself. And I relate to Damon a lot in those regards. That she did the things that she was supposed to do as a mother, things that we know about, but the things that, you know, you hope that people will come through for you that care about you would. You just happen to have to go through those things alone. Yeah, and Damon was going through those things. And he was letting her have it, and then Pray Tell jumps back up, and Damon was ready again. And he drops the bomb that Ricky is positive. And he didn't like to spill it. He spilled the tea in relation to himself. He kind of said that, and my boyfriend or whatever is exposing me to HIV. So it spilled Ricky's tea, but it wasn't to be malicious and tell everybody about Ricky's business. He was letting them know about what he's going through, in my perspective. All right, and Pray Tell wasn't really here for that because he's more so honestly concerned about himself and Ricky right now. I feel in his mind, and he felt kind of like that was wrong for Damon to do. But I don't see that. He was amongst his family, and he was letting them know what was going on with him, and it happened to include Ricky in it. That's just what it is. And Pray Tell is really not in a position to judge nobody and tell anybody what they should and shouldn't do right now. Like, hey, Pray Tell, you keep that zipped, okay? And then Damon's like, okay, really? You want to go there? Because why you didn't tell Mama about the fact that why you didn't tell Mama that he had HIV, huh? Why wasn't it you? It wasn't because you were sleeping with him? He dropped that bomb too, right at the dinner. The dinner was going down, right? And he called Pray Tell a slut. Pray Tell can fight. Pray Tell damn near threw a table. He damn near threw a table, and Rick was on that wall. Not Rick, Bob, Dean was on that wall like yeah, it went down. It really went down. It really went down. Okay. What was most shocking was that Electra was kind of like, pray tell, what you doing? That's one of the whole. That's one of the whole rules. That is one of the whole rules that we do not sleep with the children. We don't do that. And Prince is like, well, he's not my son. I'm not a father. And she's like, but you are an elder. And it really, this is what that moment really, really, really made me think about. And it's the complicated relationships that they have in that community. The home communities where they have mothers and fathers and children, right? Because let me read that right. And then what's the line and what's the structure and how do you actually keep that going? Because I'm gonna read what I wrote. Okay, I'm sorry, but it's really complicated because the house parents in the community really do take on the role of surrogate parents to these children, to the child in the person actually, who stop developing in a way, in a sense, because of the loss of their parental bonds and relationships. But they aren't. But those parents, the house parents, aren't biologically their parents, and the kids aren't technically children, in the sense of raising children, in the sense of them still being innocent and not being able to see them sexually. You know what I mean? They're adults, you know, so I think it's great that Blanca can love them as a mother, and totally take away that, and because of her love, she can take away any sexual look at them. But some people don't have that. And of course, Pray Tell is not the father. You are not the father. But I do feel like he has a responsibility to somebody. If it wasn't Ricky, it was sure as hell Damon. And he failed somewhere, and he just really didn't step up to that. And I'm just really disappointed in him in that. Like, he owed somebody something. You know, he crossed the line with somebody. He either crossed the line with Damon, or he crossed the line with Ricky, or he crossed the line with both of them. And they really didn't. Again, they were more concerned about Blanca. And I was like, ain't nobody worried about Damon because Damon is processing a lot. Blanca gonna be fine because ain't nothing really actually happened to Blanca. Damon is the one going through it. I felt like Damon again, like people not really being concerned about what he's having to deal with, because again, he's processing that he might be HIV positive himself, that his father figure, or the most father figure that he has in his life currently, doesn't really care for him in the way that he should. His lover cheated on him, lied to him, and is sleeping with his father figure. That's a lot to deal with for anybody, and no one really seems to be that concerned. Also, Angel and Poppy noticed that in the scene, Angel and Poppy ain't never left that room. They ain't never left. They was in that hallway listening now. So it went down. Alexa said something that was also really interesting. She said, laying down, we should be standing up. And I thought that was so interesting coming from Electra, because it seemed like Pray Tell told her that, or something similar to that, a few episodes ago. Okay? And let's just, I seem like I'm going on forever. I don't want to take too long. So what else happens in the scene? In the episode, you know, Blanca has to face the fact that she has to kick Angel out the house, and Angel forces her to pretty much do it. My one question was that, man, it's not about Angel being kicked out of the house, but it's kind of like, who's going to hold Angel accountable for her drug problem now? Like, is Angel going to go on the drug problem? Because I feel like Angel wasn't really concerned about being kicked out of the house because she has somewhere to stay. You know, and she got money to pay for it. But what about the drug problem? Like, that's a whole mothering thing that's being overlooked right now. Old girl doing cocaine, and she has access to it. You know what I mean? And she's only being peer pressured to do it because of her status. So, like, that's the issue. Let's not talk about, like, kicking out the house. Let's talk about getting you to a rehab center. You know, also, if she's not in the house anymore, does that mean she's not? If she's not in the home, doesn't mean she's no longer a member of the house. I'm not for sure if what that means. So if anybody understands that, let me know. So again, because Angel got kicked out of the home, is she no longer a member of the house of whatever I forgot the name, the house, Blanca's house. They all went to the ball too. Poppy won a trophy. Blanca was at the ball in her feelings. Poppy was trying to cheer up, wasn't working. And then Damon came and was like, "What's that? We're at a family meeting. I didn't know nothing about this. What's going on?" And ain't nothing much really happened. Damon got pissed. He win an award, a trophy for dancing, rolled his eyes at Pretel, and passed up Blanca on the way out. And I was like, would have done the same thing, okay? Because no, they don't got right now. No one had his back at that moment. No one was really there for Damon. He was on it on his own. He went in the back. He went backstage, and he got an opportunity. Someone from somebody working for somebody was like, "Hey, we need to talk," and presented him with the opportunity to basically go on tour, a European tour, for an extended amount of time, undisclosed amount of time, a long time, and he accepted the opportunity. So the end of the episode is left with Blanca don't have no more fam, she don't have no more house, right? Also, Freytel and Ricky, we see them again, right? Freytel and Blanca get into this heated argument outside the club. I didn't like the argument. The argument went a lot of places. Where are my notes on that? The argument, I did not like their argument. Child, I'm on page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my little lights together. Okay, 5. I think I got so much notes, y'all. I don't know where my notes are, but okay, I see on that now. I need to be on page 3. No. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. So, pray tell, he first tried to make the conversation about Blanca as a mother. And I was like, don't even go there because you have no room. Pray tell. You know what I mean? Blanca's doing the best she can as a mother to these damn grown people who are hurt children. And she's hurt her damn self. So she's doing the best she can. So don't bring her motherhood into this and saying that she plays up to one to the other. Like a lot of people treat their daughters differently than their sons. A lot of people do that because they're girls. So I understood where she's come from with that. And I felt like, whatever. And then he tried to make it seem like why you didn't penalize Ricky and Damon for sleeping together and trying to do me. First off, because you're not Damon. You're not my son. You're not in my house. And then you don't play by my rules anyway. And then you're not on the same level. And look, I see both sides of the coin. I see where Pretel, I can understand how he feels. Feeling like love is not an option for you. Feeling like love doesn't know your name. Love doesn't knock on your door. You know what I mean? I live that life. I understand that. And for it to come and be an option for you, for it to come and knock on your door, for it to know your name, and for it to be a very appealing, for it to be temptation in the way that Ricky is presented to the audience and to Pretel in lieu of the show pose. He's presented to be like the young thing. I don't know what words I'm trying to say, but he's presented to be the it kind of guy of that community. For it to be Ricky, it just seems like, how could he say no? You know what I mean? Like, how could he say no? He was trapped by himself. So I get it. I get Pretel not being able to say no. I understand how he could not say no. And I understand just wanting the opportunity to have love, especially if you think you're dying. You know, I get that. Because I get it. I totally get it. But Blanca checkmated him when she said, you're not equals. And they're not. You know, I'm a teacher, I work with children, and I can see how vulnerable they are. I can see how, like, even some of the girls, maybe some of the boys, have crushes on me. I see that, and I get so, like, sick to my stomach sometimes when I hear the stories about, like, how teachers are sleeping with their students, because I can see how easy it is for them to be taken advantage of, because they just love you. They just do. They just love you. They just love you. They don't see you as a person. Like, you know, you're something so much grander than that to them. Um, because regular people don't really like you. You know what I mean? Like, in that way. You have to find someone like you in that way, but it's like all the kids like you in that way because you're their teacher. You're on such a great scale. Even though they're disrespectful sometimes, a lot of times they still see you in that light too. It's really weird, and that I think that was a trump card for that Blanca pulled when she said you're not equals, and you know. Pratel just kept saying that he's a grown man, I'm a grown man, but I just don't see it like that. I just don't. And I think that once you're my student, you're always my student, you know. So I don't see it like that. Even though I do understand where Pratel's coming from as far as, you know, feeling like love, again, love is not an option for him, and if having love being an option and wanting to take advantage of the opportunity to have love, I don't know. I hope to never be in that situation, and if I am, I hope to like make a better choice. So in the end of the episode, Pray Tell is in bed with Ricky. Well, first Pray Tell's at the house drunk, and Ricky just rolled up in the house like he owned the place. I'm like, oh, he got a key or something? Like, it got that quick? It got that deep that quick, right? Um, he puts Pray Tell to bed. Pray Tell's like, you put me in this position. You did it on purpose. Kind of. He didn't say those exact words. That's basically what he said. He said, "You're not gonna be in the morning. 'Cause I know your type." While Ricky, that next day, shirtless, making eggs and stuff. Pray tell, he a lost goose now. He is a lost duck goose. So the very last scene with them is that they're in the bed. Ricky's sleeping. Pray tell's reading the book, and he finds the flyer for the AIDS extravaganza that they threw, hosted by Blanca. Sees her name on it, and he looks at Ricky and kind of like, and I felt like the internal thought that he was having was it worth it? Was it worth having him? And I lost my friend. I lost the one person, my confidant. I lost my mother figure, and I think in that moment he was like, it really wasn't. But that's where he's at right now, and Blanca is sitting at her House Evangelista, remember the name now, House Evangelista family dinner table with a bottle of wine and one of her struggle meals, because them meals be on struggle. And she's in by herself and she's just crying because her family is gone. And Mariah Carey, Love Takes Time is playing, and I'm like, this is the best episode of Pose ever in life. Ever in life. Ever in life. I can't no more. I think I talked way too long. This is my first ever TV show review. I probably can't do no more because I don't think I'm good at them. But I really enjoyed this episode. I wanted to talk with somebody about it. So in the comments, y'all, if you see this and you want to have a conversation, let's talk about it. How do you feel about Pray Tell? How do you feel about Bobby, Ricky? I don't know why I keep calling Ricky Bobby, but Ricky, I think there was a show called Ricky and Bobby. I think. How do you feel about it all? I'm winded. I'm hot. And I'm I'm tired now, but I expressed myself. I need to talk about this with somebody because this episode had me in my feelings, and I just feel so bad for Damon. I feel like this episode did not focus on Damon and his pain enough, and he just has to go out into the world and really take care of himself now. And I think that's beautiful, and I think that's kind of like how I know that's kind of like what has to happen for me. And that's what has to happen for a lot of people when, you know, they don't really have somebody there to really support them emotionally, you know, and it is what it is, you know. So, look, talk to me in the comments. I love you guys. Hey old friends, hey new friends. If you're not a friend now, hit the subscribe button. That's how we can be friends. And I'll see you in the next video. That's what I'll be. Peace. I love you guys.